What's going on, guys? We are here at the finals of LSBA Season 7. My apologies if you guys don't have the background music this week. I think my computer's just being dumb. But looking at his team, he does bring Hydreigon, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't bring that thing. As for the rest of this team, he has Grimmsnarl, Zeraora, Jirachi, Clefable, and Corviknight, all stuff I expected. I did expect the Hydreigon. It was probably either going to be Hydreigon or Chandelure. I was just kind of hoping for the Chandelure instead. So, what do I want to do? So, he does have Defog, obviously, on the Corviknight. So getting rid of that thing as soon as possible so I can start setting up hazards would be really nice. I'm thinking he's probably... So he doesn't have Chandelure, to note. So he has no Boom Burst immunities. Jirachi could be specially defensive as well as Corviknight. So those are obvious switch-ins, potentially. But he doesn't really have a whole lot for Toxtricity here. I'm thinking, let's see here, I don't have U-turn on Ribombee. So Dragapult could be a decent start, a decent starter. However, it is Toy Scarf this week. The one thing that would outspeed it is a Scarfed Zoroark, which you got to be careful for. What do I want to do? I could lead off with... actually, I might lead off with Decidueye. We do have dual Scarfers this week. So, and we do have the U-turns, so I think actually that's what I want to start off with. He leads off with Corviknight. He doesn't have a ground... well, he does have Volt Absorb and Zeraora, so got to be careful with that. I was thinking for Volt Switch. So if this thing's physically defensive, which is most likely is, I'm not going to do much to this. Damn, I wish I had started off with Dragapult. Could have gone for a Thunderbolt right off the bat. I'm just going to go for U-turn. Does absolutely nothing, but let's see if we can figure anything out with that. Men in Tights versus Corviknight. U-turn 3.5 to 4.2. We did 3% exactly. So it does look to be... U-turn. Yeah, so max HP, max Phys Def, Impish Nature does 3% minimum. So that was a low roll on max defense. So we could go into... I mean, Toxtricity can't really do... What does a Boom Burst do to Corviknight? Boom Burst doesn't quite to a KO. Actually, no, it doesn't with Leftovers Recovery. So... Does Corviknight carry anything that could threaten Toxtricity? I don't know why I went to Bulbapedia. I'm not seeing any ground type moves or psychics. No. Yeah, so I don't think Corviknight can do much to Toxtricity. He goes straight for the U-turn. So he's probably going to bring in Actually, I don't know. Because, I mean, there's Jirachi. Jirachi can go for Zen Headbutts. What does Jirachi take from Overdrive? If he's Scarfed, which I'm thinking he might be, Overdrive is a 2-hit KO. Kind of wish I had done U-turn instead of Volt Switch on Toxtricity, but kind of forgot about Volt Absorb on Zeraora. Really glad he didn't bring Mamoswine. Banded Ice Shard or even Life Orb Ice Shard is pretty threatening to my offensive core, as well as Earthquake, of course. Decidueye is really my only Earthquake switch in, and it's not bulky, so it doesn't entirely appreciate it. But he did read Mamoswine, so we don't have to worry about that. He brings in Hydreigon, which can carry the Earth Power. I could go straight into Ribombee. Ribombee is pretty bulky. I do have, yeah, I made it physically defensive instead of especially. Why did I make it Fizz Def? That was silly on my part. First is Hydreigon. Nasty Plot will assume. Flash Cannon can kill if he decides to go for that. But that would be a pretty big predict on his part. I'm thinking he's either going to go for Earth Power or the Darker Dragon move. Making a Flash Cannon predict this early in the game would be pretty big. Do I want to go for it? I do. I want to go for it. If he goes for the Flash Cannon or Fire Blast, that is just huge. Actually, do I risk staying in? No, I don't. Toxtricity is just wrecks his team. Earth Power is going to kill me. I don't know why I'm even calcing this. Toxtricity. Yeah, Earth Power kills me twice over. Boom Burst kills him. Draco Meteor kills me. Yeah. Half the moves he can be going for kills me. It's not worth it. I'm going to Ribombee. Yeah, so he goes for Earthquake. Interesting. So he's not staying in. Absolutely not. We don't see a Life Orb, so he could be Scarf. Actually, 13.3. Earth Power. No, Earthquake. Yeah, Earthquake is weird. Let's calc that. So Earthquake did 13.3%. So he is not Life Orb. So that does appear to be min attack, obviously non-Life Orb and not banded. 2.3, yeah, that's just middle of the line on timid 0 attack investment. That's weird. Because Hydreigon gets Earth Power, and if only thing I could think of to carry Earthquake for would be Toxtricity, and it's not especially bulky either. I'm not sure about that. Maybe he forgot Hydreigon gets Earth Power. But he's not staying in. So he switches out to either Jirachi or Corviknight. Nothing else wants to take a Moonblast. I could set up a Tailwind. I could do that. I could pull a double into Dragapult. Or Toxtricity again. I almost want to think he's going into Corviknight, because that's his Pokemon. So... Steelix is kind of worthless. It's nice for as a switch into Zeraora. Getting Web Summon would be huge. Absolutely huge. I could go for the Tailwind and then make a double, and then switch out to Toxtricity for the Boom Burst. But then you probably... actually, yeah, I want to set up the Tailwind. There's the Clefable. So here's the question. What coverage move does Clefable have? It obviously has Moonblast. I really wish I pulled the double into Toxtricity. Obviously has the Moonblast. Last time I had Psychic but no Fire. It could be 3 attacks this time. Yeah, it could be Moonblast, Fire Blast, Psychic, and Soft Boiled or Combined. Moonblast isn't doing much to this because I have no investment. Let's assume Calm Mind versus Ribombee. Moonblast doesn't do negligible damage, but not enough. How much does Psychic do to my Toxtricity? Psychic does a lot. It's too much. Not quite too much. Doesn't quite kill me. That is, of course, assuming he has the Psychic and goes for it. Could go into Mew. Go for the knockoff. Actually, that's what I want to do. Mystical Fire. Okay. Interesting. I'm just going to go for knockoff here. Actually, let's Calx. This is the championship match. We don't want to be too hasty. Mystical Fire versus Mew. Mystical Fire did 18.4%. So that looks like 252. Yeah, that's modest max special attack. So he has modest special attack, Life Orb. Therefore Magic Guard, because we're not seeing the Life Orb effect. So I'm still fine with going for the knockoff here. Getting rid of something's item will be really nice. I do have Infiltrator, right? Fairly certain I have, because he has obviously the screens from Grimmsnarl, so Infiltrator will be really nice to bypass those. Would not surprise me if Zoroark is Scarfed, just so he guaranteed has something faster than Scarf Dragapult. He also has his Mon. However, I've never brought Scarf Dragapult so far this season, so he might not expect me to bring that. Alright, so he goes for the Protect. So he has Protect, Mystical Fire, Moonblast, and Soft Boiled, I assume. So that means no Psychic move, which is nice, because then it can't... Well, it can hit Toxtricity still with the Mystical Fire and drop my special attack. But... So, I don't see any reason not to go for another knockoff. I just want to get rid of something's item. Get rid of this thing's Life Orb, so it's going to be hitting not as hard. Lefties, something Scarf, Light Clay. Any item would be huge. It would be nice to start getting some hazards up as well. Excuse me. So that his Corviknight is forced to go for defogs. The question is, do I prefer spikes? I probably prioritize rocks. Since he has 2 things immune to spikes and webs. 3 things actually with Magikarp. Yeah, anyways, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Alright, so he stays in, we get rid of the Life Orb. He goes for the Wish. Interesting. Everything's pretty much at max, so I don't know what he's trying to go for. He might just stay in, honestly. I'm gonna go for a layer of spikes. Might as well get some chip damage, force the defog, hopefully. Yeah, everything's pretty much at max HP, so Wish passing doesn't really do anything. Yeah, so he stays in, goes for the Mystical Fire. That doesn't matter to me because obviously we're not physical, but we're not special either. So the special attack drops don't bother me, and we're recovering the damage he's doing. So I'm just going to go for another layer of spikes. And he went for another Wish this time, so might as well go for a 3rd layer. Yeah, there's the Corviknight. So now he is semi-forced to go for defog. He could go for U-turn, but like I have no reason not to go into Toxtricity. Yeah, there's the U-turn. So Hydreigon's probably going to come in now. So the fact that Hydreigon has Earthquake tells me that it's likely choiced, probably Scarf. It's probably not Nasty Plot. One, we don't see the Life Orb, which Nasty Plot sets like to have, as well as it would then be suffering from 4 move slot syndrome because it wants the Dark Pulse and the Draco Meteor, as well as the Fire type move potentially. So last time I went straight into Rabombi. He's either going to go for Earthquake again, or for the Fire type move, or Steel type move, expecting the Rabompi. It's probably going to be Fire type, the Flamethrower or Fire Blast. Because I don't think anything else benefits from Flash Cannon over Flamethrower on my team. So I could just go into Mew here, because he's not going to go for the Dark Pulse. He's either going to go for the Draco Meteor to try to kill this thing, or the Ground or Fire type move. Yeah, so there's the Earthquake. We could just go for a knockoff. And I think... Alright, so we get rid of this thing's lefties, which is really nice. Because actually at that range, I believe Boom Burst does 2-hit kill. I really want to say the Decidueye in case Jirachi is not scarfed. Want to... Actually, Decidueye would be really nice for Clefable as well, to get that thing out of the way. So I've swapped into Toxtricity both times Corviknight has been in now, and both times he has gone for the U-turn. So, he might expect me to do something different, but U-turn's pretty safe for him. Could go into Steelix. How much does Body Press do to this thing? If it's max, Corviknight, physically defensive, against Steelix. Body Press does not do enough. And he has a Roost, obviously, so. So, he's either going to go for the Defog or the U-turn. Defog would be nice to go into Dragapult. Actually, both would be nice to go into Dragapult, because then if he goes for U-turn and goes into Zeraora on the Dragapult, then I'm almost certain that it is scarfed. Yeah, so he does go for the Defog. And he doesn't want to stay in. Actually does. What does Thunderbolt do to Corviknight? Dragapult, Kite Runner. Goodness, it does that little. Oh, fuck Corviknight. I hate this thing. I hate that I've had to face it 3 times this season. It's just so bulky. So he might stay in and go for the slow U-turn, in which case I would love to go for Thunderbolt. He might do a hard swap. Actually, you know what? If he does do a hard swap into Zeraora, then I actually don't want to. I don't want to go for U-turn here, because that gives him the initiative on his U-turn. He could also go into Grimmsnarl here. Yeah, so there's the Grimmsnarl. Thunderbolt does 32%. Grimmsnarl, dual screens, 32.2%. This did 32 max, or 32 exactly. So it does appear to have some special defense, or it could just be max HP. If it's max HP and 0. So it could be max HP, max defense, based on that range. Could be an upper roll. Or it could be max HP, max attack, if it's offensive, or special attack. In either case, I think I'd go into Steelix. Lagging Tail versus Leftovers, I'm fine with that. If something was going to get Lagging Tail on my team, it would definitely be Steelix. So I'm glad I made that play. I'm just going to set up rocks. Because again, it forces the defog from Corviknight. As well as the rocks guarantee the Oko from Boom Burst on Hydreigon. So there's the Hydreigon. This thing, it's either going to go for Fire Blast or Dark Pulse now. How much does Dark Pulse? Not Life Orb. I'm going to assume Scarf. That's what I'm going with right now. It could be Specs. But for Mew, wow, Mew eats that up. If it's Specs, that's a different story. Specs 68 to 80. We are at 93%. So we can live a Specs Dark Pulse from Hydreigon right now. What about Steel? Oh, actually, ooh, we're sturdy. Is it worth sacking it? I think so. I think it's definitely worth sacking Steelix for. I totally forgot Steelix has sturdy. I'm a goofus. But let's see here. Yeah, it does give us limited options with Zeraora, and then we lose rocks once he gets the defog off. But he loses Hydreigon, which is pretty huge. So I want to do it. I'm gonna. Yep. So there's the Fire Blast. We live. Yeah. So Hydreigon is dead next time it comes in on rocks. So Fire Blast. Steelix. Golden Robot. Fire Blast. If it's Specs, if it's Scarfed, Fire Blast does still have a decent chance to kill. So unfortunately from that we can't tell if it's Specs or Scarf. However, how much does Dragapult take from a Fire Blast Specs? Because I think he's going to stay in and try to take out the Steelix, and I'd like to keep it around if possible to sack later on. Yeah, actually, how much does Steelix do to body press? Yeah, that was an absolute min roll. So, yeah, I think we could just go into Dragapult and go for a U-turn. Actually, no, I think I stand because we don't know guaranteed that he is Scarf or choiced in some manner. So if he's not choiced, then he might go for a Dark Pulse just to not miss, and we don't want to take that. So, okay, I'll take that. I will happily take that, actually. So he's hoping to get the defog with Corviknight so that he can bring Hydreigon in another time. So Steelix versus Jirachi. Body press did 39. Body press did 38%. So I'm thinking this thing is specially 33 to 39. So that does seem to be max HP. So I'm assuming Jirachi is specially defensive. So I can go into Decidueye and go for a Spirit Shackle. Damn, I really wish I had Incineroar, because Incineroar is immune to the Prankster moves. I could go into Dragapult. What does Dragapult do to Jirachi? If he's specially defensive, which it seems like he is. Calm. Shadow Ball does not kill. Noted. So I think my play is to go into Decidueye. Weird that he's Rocky Helmet, but specially defensive. So I was fairly certain I was going to go into Decidueye, but I also wanted to wait a bit to bluff the Scarf potentially. Because if I'm not Scarf, he might go for a U-turn or something, because he might be speedy. What does Spirit Shackle do to Grimmsnarl? He's max HP. Excuse me, I'm a little gassy at the moment. So Leaf Blade does not kill. Spirit Shackle does a decent amount and guarantees he stays in. Could go for the U-turn. Or I could just try to kill this thing. Alright, there's the Clefable. Actually, I want to kill this thing. I'm going to stay in and kill it. He's going to go for Protect, most likely. One of these days I'm going to get a crit. I don't like this. I don't think a crit might still kill here. Alright. So he's going for Protect again. So I could go into Toxicity on the Protect, go for a Boom Burst. Yep, so there's a Protect. Boom Burst should kill. I should have done this calc before I switched. Versus Clefable. Boom Burst is 82 to 96. So he's... I could also go for the Volt Switch. How much does Volt Switch do? Not enough. He'll heal right back up. So I either have to go for the Boom Burst or the Overdrive. What does Jirachi take from Boom Burst? Goodness, nothing kills it. Not even an Overdrive. So he's got to expect the Sludge Wave, Overdrive, or Boom Burst, because either of those three kill. If he expects the Overdrive or any electric move, he goes into Zeraora. Though that's really risky, because if I go for anything else, Zeraora is down. Could go into Jirachi to take the Boom Burst or the Sludge Wave. Damn, not having Steelix does kind of suck for the Zeraora. I need Webs Up. To get Webs Up, I need this thing gone, or at least lowered. I really want to go for Volt Switch, because I don't think he goes into Zeraora. He has to be expecting either the Sludge Wave or the Boom Burst, right? There's no reason, because Sludge Wave for what's in front of me, or the Boom Burst is just a general thingamajig. But if he stays in and I go for Volt Switch, he gets another Wish Up and we're back in the same position. I'm going for Boom Burst. Yeah, there's the Jirachi. I should have gone for Sludge Wave. However, this thing can't paralyze me. He's not offensive, so he could have Zen Headbutt. I go into Decidueye. Could also go into Mew, but I don't want that thing to get statused at all. There's the Psyshock. Could go for the U-turn. Yeah, so that's dead. So he no longer has any Boom Burst switch-ins. If he goes into Zero right here, we know it's Scarfed. Well, we don't know that. We think it's Scarfed. fight is taking a while. Starting to need a pee. So as long as rocks aren't defogged, Hydreigon's dead. He could go into Corviknight because I believe Corviknight can take a Thunderbolt, but he doesn't know. Actually, no, if he did the calcs on Grimmsnarl, he should know that we're not specs. He goes into Grimmsnarl now, which is interesting. So Trick. So he's not speedy because he's max HP. So Toxtricity outspeeds. Yeah, there's a light screen. Dragon Bolt does have Infiltrator, so we can kind of work around that. I think he's going to go into Corviknight here to try to defog. Because he thinks I either go for the Boom Burst or the Sludge Wave. Right? That's what he's got to think. Because he needs the Rogs off to be able to get Hydreigon back in. And I think now is the time, because if I go for Sludge Wave, then I'm locked in, and he can get the defog off. And if I go for the Boom Burst with the light screen up, he can live. So I think he goes into Corviknight. Corviknight. Physically defensive with light screen up, overdrive to 72 to 85%. It doesn't kill unless I get a crit, but it does put us in the position that whenever I Volt Switch into, I can't kill it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going for Volt Switch. Alright, so he gives me leftovers. So we are no longer specs. So let's see. We have Trick, Light Screen, Reflect, and Spirit Shackle. That's unfortunate that we lost our specs. Though we might be able to take advantage of it because now we can obviously switch our moves. So I don't think he has T-Wave. Damn, I wish he had swapped into Corviknight. So he could trick me in choice specs here. And if he tricks me in choice specs, then so yeah, we do have Infiltrator. He doesn't have T-Wave, is what I'm thinking. Because he has Trick, Light Screen, Reflect, and offensive move. So without T-Wave, the best he can do to Dragapult, well, he might stay in at Spirit Shackle, but that's something I'm willing to risk. Oh, he has choice specs actually now. Shit. So if he does have the Spirit Shackle, actually, yeah, that's a problem. Because we do have decent bulk on Dragapult. So we got Dragapult here. Versus Grimmsnarl. Dual screens. With spec, choice specs. Spirit Break. Oh, that's a chance to kill. I'm going for U-turn. There's a Sucker Punch, and that looks to be absolutely max attack. Thank goodness I have so much HP investment. Actually, Dragon Bolt, Sucker Punch. So, So we got Sucker Punch, Trick, Light Screen, Reflect. I think a Boom Burst should take it out now. And now that I'm on specs, we can safely go for the Boom Burst and then go for the Overdrive next turn on the Corviknight. And Grimmsnarl's gone, which means Shadow Ball is now free. Here's the Zeraora, which I don't like. I think here so he's going for knockoff here. I don't think I need... Actually, if he's going for knockoff, I could go into Rabombi. But I don't think I need Decidueye anymore. Corviknight's bulky. Decidueye doesn't outspeed this thing, and I don't have any priority. That thing's dead as long as rocks don't get off, and I have potentially other answers to Clefable. So I sack Decidueye. I would love to see a Life Orb here. Please show me a Life Orb. 28%. That tells me... Does that tell me anything? Because we resist that. Offensive Pivot. Plasma Fist. Oh my goodness. There's a minimum of 29%, so that doesn't tell us shit. We go into Mew here. I really want to know if that thing's Scarf or Banded. The fact that he went... what does that do to Toxtricity? Plasma Fist is 30 to 36%. So that tells me that he thinks he could kill with Plasma Fists. So that tells me it's Banded. So I go into Mew here. So if it's Banded... I just need to get everything else low enough to the point where Shadow Ball can sweep. Which means I don't care about spikes. This game is really fucking close. So, he needs to keep his item on Zeraora. Right? Because if it's Scarf, then he needs the Scarf to be allowed to be a Dragapult. If it's Banded, it's not Life Orb, so he doesn't want to take a knockoff. He also wants to make sure his HP is at a range where he can take a hit from Dragapult. Or a hit from anything. So, for knockoff, he goes either into... So we're going to pull a double here. It's really fucking risky. But I think we have to do it. Because he can't stay in. He can't take a knockoff. Yes! Okay. So now, does Boom Burst, Toxtricity to Clefable. No item. I don't think it matters because an Overdrive would kill anyways. Sludge Wave, oh my goodness, Sludge Wave doesn't even kill. But I think I can go for a Sludge Wave, because if he goes into Corviknight, I can just follow up with an Overdrive. Yeah, so Clefable's gone. And here... What does Shadow Ball do to Zeraora? To Zeraora. Offensive Pivot, Shadow Ball, Draco Meteor. Almost kills it. After another Stealth Rocks, it does kill. I really want to think this thing is banded. Okay, so actually, Rabombi, Murder Hornet from Zeraora. Actually, no, if it's banded, so if it's not banded, 52 to 61, we can take a hit with Rabombi if it's not banded. If it is banded, choice band, choice banded has a chance to kill. So I think the reason he's trying to save his Hydreigon is because it is Scarfed. And he therefore doesn't think that my Dragapult is Scarfed. Okay, so yeah, that is guaranteed banded. Which means, so Toxtricity, 48... Plasma Fist, yeah, so that will kill, or has a great chance to kill. So now I go into Mew. And I go for, let's see here. I can't risk him staying in. I just need a little bit more chip damage on this thing. So let's see here. If he stays in, we live a hit, go for a knockoff, this thing's ban is gone, and we can semi-sweep with Dragapult. If he switches into Corviknight, and we stay in, we switch into Toxtricity on the Defog. And then he has to sack something, probably the Corviknight. Because that's all he needs the Corviknight for is the... Oh, shit. This game is coming down to a 50-50. Does he stay in, or does he switch into Corviknight? Because Hydreigon doesn't matter, because Dragapult is Scarfed. That thing's dead. So I go for the knockoff. This thing's down. Yeah, there's the band. I might as well go for a Roost here. Or he goes for the knockoff. Alright, so he's at 49%. So Mew, knockoff from Mew, did 27%. That's just in the middle of the range of 0 HP investment. So that implies to me he's there, and Plasma Fist did 54 to 64%. And 61%. So yep, he does seem to be max attack, obviously. So, Dragapult. Shadow Ball does not kill at this range. Well, it has a chance to kill. It looks like a 50-50. So I have to go for the Draco Meteor. There's the Defog. This thing's dead. And now Hydreigon comes in. And I'm pretty sure we win. There's the Earthquake. Dragapult to Hydreigon. Shadow Ball does U-turn, does more. So let's just go for the U-turn. Oh my fucking god. Whew, that was a rough match. That is probably the best I played all season, and one of the best I played, period, in LSBA. Yeah, I just had to make a lot of tough decisions. I think there were a couple 50-50s in there that could have gone either way, and most of them went my way. And that obviously made a huge difference. And I'm just like... And we won. We won LSBA Season 7. It was only a half season due to only having 8 coaches, but hey, I'll fucking take it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This was wild and a really tough match. And we finally took down the reigning champ of LSBA past few seasons. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later.